Hi guys. So the video I did a few days ago on astrology, I did a couple of them actually, and I was showing you how how basically in November Jupiter is going to be making an exact conjunction again during the first week of November, culminating from the sort of like 7th, 8th of November until the 13th of November, which means I could pump up the deaths again, lying again, having more people. Well, I mean, they're continuously going to put COVID on every death anyway. But because this is a time of the year where people tend to, during the seasons change, that's when people get the flu anyway. They will probably play on that anyway. Or it could be real deaths, as I was explaining, because people that wear a mask, when you wear a mask for more than an hour, I've explained to you before, I work with carbon dioxide. There's nothing wrong with carbon dioxide. In fact, there's only very little carbon dioxide in the air. There should be a lot more than what we have. The air is mainly nitrogen and about 20% oxygen, and 1% of the rest of the air is literally just all different types of gases, including carbon dioxide, which should make up most of that 1% actually to compensate for the lack of it, because at the moment we're about 400 ppm of carbon dioxide, and we should be at least 800 to about 1000 ppm. Okay, this is where we should be at. But however, when you wear a mask for too long, it's not so much that you're rebreathing your carbon dioxide. After a while, you see, like, people don't realize we don't breathe oxygen, we breathe air. And the air comprises of what I've just told you, okay, like, which is about basically 79% nitrogen, 20% oxygen, and 1% of negligible gases. What happens, you're rejecting literally the same amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen, but at the same time, what is the breath? The breath is cleansing, so it cleanses you out of bacteria, pollution. So what you're breathing out is kind of polluted. It has nothing to do with carbon dioxide. That's what people don't get. I mean, breathing too much carbon dioxide, if you breathed more than air that has more than 1,500 ppm of carbon dioxide, your body would start feeling quite heavy. That's true. But this is why people live longer, you see, in the mountains, on the forest, because there is more carbon dioxide. And it's a bit harder to train, but you can heal a lot faster when you're training in an environment with more carbon dioxide, which is what hypoxic chambers are all about. So it's not so much a carbon dioxide. It's going to take hours and hours for you to reject too much carbon dioxide. What it is really is you're rejecting stale air. Everything that you're breathing out is just stale things on bacteria, and you're releasing poisonous shite from your lungs as well, and you're going to be rebreathing all that in. So the people that are wearing a mask, especially if they wear a mask more than an hour a day, come September, October, November, plus with the Wi-Fi on the 5th generation, I mean, it could be that we're going to see real deaths happening from October onwards, culminating in November. Okay. However, Mars is going to start. I didn't look at Mars the last time, so as you know, Mars has had very hard aspect at the beginning of the month, hence why all the riots. However, so in August, okay, we have Saturn's been retrograding. Well, it's going to start. Well, Saturn is going to start retrograding at the beginning of July. I wouldn't worry too much about that just yet. But again, I'm not going to talk about Saturn just yet. But it's going to start retrograding. Okay, I've got Saturn retrograde in my chart. And Pluto is also going to start retrograding on the same day. Okay, so Saturn is retrograding, actually not on the 3rd, on Pluto on the 2nd. So these two major planets are going to start retrograding. And Mars, which is in Aries right now. Okay, well, it's going to start, hang about, where are we, June, Mars. No, Mars has been in Pisces, but it's coming into Aries on the 28th, this month. And then it's coming into Aries, and as you know, the outer planets at the moment are mainly in Capricorn. Okay, we've got Pluto in Capricorn, we got Saturn going from Capricorn to Aquarius at the moment, Jupiter in Capricorn. So there's going to be very hard aspects to Mars again, come sort of like mid to end August. So, for example, Saturn, I mean, Mars is going to do, is going to have a hard aspect with Jupiter yes, sort of like from the end of July, beginning of August, but the exact square is going to start, remembering that Jupiter is also going retrograde as well, is going retrograde on the 2nd of August, so you're going to have Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, all retrograding, all in Capricorn, right? So basically from about the 2nd of August already, like you're going to start feeling the stink of Mars, on the Mars with Jupiter sort of like making a square. So again, you know, the power of Mars on Jupiter, violence, on expansion, expanding the violence, and Pluto, death as well. So there could be even more deaths at some point. It's going to start around the 2nd of August, but I can tell you when it's going to culminate. Well, let me see. I'm just looking very briefly. Well, Jupiter's going to keep going back on back for quite a while. It's not, Jupiter's not going forward until mid-September. So I would say, realistically, round about mid-August, okay? Round about mid-August is when, yeah, that mid-August, because on mid-August 14th or 15th, Mars is going to be at 23 degrees Aries, on Pluto is going to be at 23 Capricorn, right? And at the same time we got Saturn at 26 degrees on that day. Okay, it's not at 23 degrees, but Saturn takes a lot longer time to retrograde. It's not even going to retrograde. It's going to retrograde only to 25, and then it's going to go forward again anyway. So from mid-August anyway, things are going to really hit the fan, and it is possible that it's going to go definitely into September, into the beginning of September. So I reckon they could even do a second wave then. And I have a friend who I trust entirely, and she knows people in the British Army, okay, and she's got it from them that the second wave will be done in September. So it is entirely possible. We got Mars retrograding as well in September. So I couldn't tell you when, but if they said September, it could even be the end of September. But it looks like the 9th of September, when Mars is retrograding. It's all kind of, there's a lot of squares again happening. Mars is going to retrograde again for quite a while. It's going to retrograde all the way into November. And what did I say? I told you that November, with all the deaths, November, I'm telling you, the whole of November, especially from the beginning to mid-November, is going to be absolutely atrocious. I'm telling you. But it looks like from September to mid-November, even from mid-August to mid-November, a lot of things are going to go on. And I reckon that the lockdown, according to the British Army, if it's true, would happen again in September. And it looks like it could be any time in September, really, because it's Mars has got hard aspects to everything back then, you know. But definitely in November, that's when the real deaths are going to happen, or they're going to pump up the deaths again when Pluto is absolutely completely conjuncting Jupiter, okay? So enjoy your July is all I can say, because, well, I mean, even in July, you know, there's the outer planets are going fucking crazy in July anyway. Most of them retrograding already, and or about to start retrograding, and all making hard aspects with one another, literally, or conjuncting one another, or squaring one another. And and of course, you know, in Cancer, we'll be in Cancer in July, so the Sun towards the end of Cancer, which obviously is sort of like around the 20th, well, the end of Cancer, well, let's count it from what is at about 25 degrees. So from about the 17th of July already, like the Sun is going to start making very hard aspects as well with the outer planets, which are all in Capricorn. Yeah, so it's going to be a tough ride, you know, a very tough ride from about mid-July, but it's going to get worse. And I think by mid-August, things could start happening already. On the whole of September, it looks crazy. And October, and then even crazier, you know, in November with the deaths and everything. So, yeah, just be prepared, people. That's what I can say for now. I'll talk about it a bit more again, but I really wanted to do a quick one on that. There was something I was going to talk about. I'm trying to remember now what it was. Yeah, there's a lot more videos coming out with the truth about the bullshit of COVID. As I keep saying, you cannot catch a flu, you cannot catch a cold. It's all a lie, okay? The flu is a good thing because it's still detoxing fucking crap out of your body, right? So they've reversed everything 180 degrees. That's what the Satanists always do. I'm not saying the flu is a good thing. If we were all healthy, none of us would get a flu, right? I haven't had a flu for ages myself, right? But the point is, because the radiation is poisonous, it's a virus, because anything that is poisoned in your that poisons your cells in your body is a virus. So radiation is poison, it's a virus. Vaccines are a virus. Any shit food, GMOs, that's a virus. Or meat is a virus. The body cannot take meat. This is why people start looking like shit and getting old a lot quicker as well. So you see, you have to understand that they're lying about everything, usually reversing everything 180 degrees, and you know, there's a lot of bullshit out there as well, because a lot of doctors from the past used to know all of that, but the doctors have been obviously studying in the last sort of 15-20 years. I've been told so many lies on purpose, you know, to suit the agenda. But, you know, look at Rudolf Steiner and look at all of the doctors have done all the experiments proving that you cannot catch a cold or a flu or viruses and all that fucking shite, okay? Viruses are no dead of a lie. It's just poison, okay? And, you know, even look, you know, I used to make love with my boyfriend, you know, when he would probably have the flu, I would never get it, you know, even though, you know, you're kissing them and apparently all the germs, you know, are gonna, you know, never, I would never get it. I'm sorry, it's all fucking bullshit. You cannot get, it doesn't work like that. You have to have a certain amount of poison. Even if you have a bit of saliva from your boyfriend coming into your mouth because he's got the flu, and he's rejecting some of that poison, it's minimal. It's minimal. It's not like the amount that he has in his body. I would have to have the whole amount he has in his body for me to get sick as he is. Plus, as I say, it's kind of not dead or alive, but it's already dead. Viruses are already dead when they come out anyway, so how the fuck do you catch it? Anyway, it's all a lie, people. But I'm going to do another video shortly, I think, again, when I remember what I was going to talk about. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Anyway, see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.